Good morning, everyone. Mike and Corey here today on this Thanksgiving short week. Today's topics, we had a bunch of retail earnings, which I'm going to whip through. Your favorite, anybody that flies on a holiday, airline fees, those things you try to avoid. And then Corey's going to take us into a massive government grant to Intel and possible places where that money may go. But before we get started, I must remind you, this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence on anything heard in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and Corey's alone. So let's talk about where you might be shopping on Black Friday. I'm going to start with Dick's Sporting Goods. So if you're into golf clubs and running stuff and losing weight the old-fashioned way, you might be going to Dick's Sporting Goods, or your kids play sports. They reported their earnings and they beat. So they came out with 2.75 versus 2.68 expected. Same store sales increased. And the stock was initially up quite a bit this morning. I'm going to just show you the one-day graph. It took off initially, and then it came back down. So let's see here if I can get to, actually, we'll show you a 5-day graph. You can see the initial surge, and then it's kind of come back down to just where it was. That was the best of the bunch. I'm going to go through 3 other ones that did not do quite as well. Abercrombie and Fitch expect a strong holiday. I can't say that I shop in there like I do. I have shopped in Dick's in the past. Don't know much about Abercrombie and Fitch other than the stock has done pretty well recently. But as far as earnings today, they beat by a little bit, but the guidance must not have been exactly what people wanted. Same store sales growth 5 to 7%, so that's pretty good. But we'll take a look at the stock, and maybe the expectations were too high, but the stock's off 4%. I'm showing a 5-year graph because I'm amazed at how well this stock has done. Can't say that in our models we have a lot of these kind of companies. Maybe it's just maybe it's mine and Corey's fashion sense. I don't know, but stock sold off today. Here's a 5-day graph of it. You can see that it's down. Another one that I used to have a lot more experience in, Best Buy. I mean, who doesn't love Best Buy? You can actually go see the actual computers and TVs and all the good stuff. It used to be you bought DVDs there and all this old technology. Best Buy came out with their earnings and not such good news. They expect sales to decline by 2.5 to 3.5%, which is more than everybody else was saying it was going to decline. I will say as far as their earnings, they barely missed. And correspondingly, let's take a look at their stock. It's off 7% today. Now, my view of Best Buy, I used to buy a lot of things there, I want to say 10 years ago, but I've always kind of said it feels like it's the actual store where you go figure out what you want and then you go buy it on Amazon. I'm sure that's not what they want to hear, but I might say, well, let me check this out at Best Buy. Ooh, I really like it. Amazon's got it cheaper. I can wait a day. I'll get it from Amazon.
Mike,
Uh,
the only thing we buy at Best Buy, and I'm trying to think that the only thing I can even think of is we buy our TVs there. That's the only
uh,
thing.
you're
And
right. You're right. Shipping a TV. Now, I might buy my TV at Costco, but shipping a TV would seem to be dangerous. I don't think I've ever shipped and I know, Corey, you're probably talking, the 100-inch, you know, 4D
at least,
plasma,
at
whatever. I
least.
don't know. But
No,
you're
we
right.
had a couple years ago, our house got popped by lightning, unfortunately, or really it somehow went into our cable line that went to the road and it fried our TV. So we had bought 2 TVs from Best Buy, had to go buy 2 more TVs from Best Buy right after the lightning. But my wife did. When I went back in there, she said, "Whatever you do, make sure you come back with a bigger TV." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go get the job done."
Well, when I walk in Costco, and I do shop, there's not many places I shop at, but I go buy the rotisserie chicken at Costco. But when I walk in there in Costco, they got these huge TVs just inside the doorway, at least the one in Ohio, and
Yep.
I'm always like, wow, that seems so inexpensive for a TV that big. You know,
Do
that's
they
just
have
the
a
way.
100 inch in there now? I saw an ad
I
for.
don't
I
know.
haven't been in, but
I don't know,
have
but
you seen that?
they make my 65-inch television look inadequate for,
Well,
for my limited viewing.
well, hey, Black
Uh,
Friday's coming up. Black
yeah, oh
Friday
yeah, all these
next
are
week.
good Black Friday ideas.
Yeah.
The other earnings that came out, and this was just brutally bad, including a CEO exit, is Kohl's. They lowered their forecast. Holiday shopping demand going down. I kind of thought Kohl's might go bankrupt during the COVID year, but they held in there. And if you remember, Amazon, you can return your packages. If you go back to the Kohl's customer service desk, you could return your Amazon packages and it would be instantly credited. So therefore, the last 10 times I've went into Kohl's, it was to return my Amazon package. And I do get that they're trying to get me to buy something on my way out, and I just never do. So I don't know. When I did buy something at Kohl's a few times many years ago, it was always you got to have the Kohl's credit card to get the 20% off these huge prices. And I was like, this is crazy. I really feel like Kohl's was just kind of acting as a retailer for credit card interest and fees. Like that was the goal, was to get you using their credit card rather than the product. Their stock is selling off major today, down 18%. Here, I'll take a look at the 5-year. You can see the 5-year. So in the COVID year, you can see it was almost out, and then it rebounded up over $50 a share. And if you bought it then, I'm sorry, you should have. You got the discount later on, as it's down probably 60-70%. So that is a quick run through the retailers. I will say that all of these, I totaled up their market cap values, and their total market cap values for all four of these companies is about $50 billion. Therefore, and I did the calculations, Amazon is worth 40 times more than all four of these companies combined. So that'll just give you an idea of how big Amazon is, which basically competes with all of these companies. So and Amazon is one that we hold in our model. So anyways, that's that. Next topic. The Senate is getting involved with airline fees. Now, I know we have a government and they get involved with a lot of things, and I don't like airline fees any more than the next person, but is that really what our government should be doing, is figuring out airline fees? I mean, they criticize Spirit and they're going bankrupt, and they do charge fees. So charging fees is just another way of making the ticket cheaper and charging those that want to, have a little bit more leg room or an extra luggage or whatever. But basically the airlines brought in $12.4 billion from fees. It used to be you just paid one price for your airline ticket and everything was covered, and it was a higher price, and now you got these fees. I guess I'm just like saying it's interesting to have this article, but to have our government investigating it, I mean, aren't there like wars around the world and things like that maybe we'd be better off dealing with, rather than messing around with a bankrupt Spirit's junk fees? So, Corey, I got to ask you a question. When's the last time you flew?
2017.
Wow, 2017. Corey is part of the reason Spirit is going bankrupt, because people like Corey are not flying. I guess I'll just try to pick up for him, and he'll be
Please.
landlocked in Texas, I guess, the rest of his life here. So
It is hard to get out of Texas. I don't know. I don't know how familiar you are, but it is not easy.
it's a big state, and you're kind of in the middle of it. So it's a
Yep.
long drive.
Yep.
Well, with that, and so the government, investigating this, and Corey's going to take it over. The government's doling out billion-dollar grants. Go ahead, Corey.
Here, let me I do want to piggyback on one thing. kind of with what Mike was talking about on the retail side, sometimes, and this is a little Target versus Walmart. Now, Walmart is a little more like the Amazon. They do have a bigger e-commerce business, and they're a little more of essentials. They get you more on the essentials, whereas Best Buy, Kohl's, Dick's, those are a little more consumer discretionary kind of. They're a lot of discretionary items. Target is kind of more that discretionary approach. Walmart a little more essentials. And look at that same market cap dynamic that Mike was talking about between Amazon and all those discretionary retailers is also true with Target and Walmart. Now you could see back in 2023, Walmart's market cap was just under 400 billion and Target's was right at about 80 billion. But that difference, that spread has never been more than it is right now. Walmart is up like 75% this year. Their market cap is over 700 billion and Target's all the way down to 50 billion. So it's kind of interesting, like driving around, you kind of see Target, Walmart, and you kind of think they're somewhat comparable, but really the scope of the business and the market caps there are very far apart. Just an interesting thing that kind of doesn't totally match what you might see driving around. Okay, but
and Corey, let me add you to your Target, Walmart. Where I live, Target and Walmart are opposite directions for me, but they're about the exact same. I think they're about 6 miles either way. I cannot think of one time in the last 5 years that I thought, oh, I'm going to go to Target rather than Walmart. Just saying it. Going to Walmart, I know the prices are cheaper, and then I think you do get some customer loyalty. All these stores are huge, and to find whatever I'm looking for, like I know now where it is at Walmart, where if I went into Target to get a bag of peanuts, I'd be like, where is this thing? So I'm just saying that's my trend. I don't know that that's everyone's, and I have equal choice. So
there was a period of time where higher earning, so this is what they were saying on some of the conference calls there. There was a period of time where higher earning families were electing to go to Target as opposed to Walmart. Target does do some things for customer experience that Walmart, played with over the years, but didn't really commit to. Like they'll have a Starbucks in the store, or they'll have some other, I think there's a cosmetics store in the Targets as well. Things like that. Whereas, Walmart kind of stuck more to the bread and butter. But Walmart has been stealing high-income families back from Target. So high-income families are preferring Target these days. Preferring Walmart more than Target, which is interesting. Okay, going to Intel here. So this grant, CHIPS Act grant, was already announced, but it's been finalized. And you think, okay, good, this is great news for Intel. Everybody's probably happy. Well, the stock's down 3% today. So, okay, when you lose, you lose. When you win, you lose, I guess, for Intel these days. But this grant is going towards Intel's domestic factory building efforts. Also, another company receiving grant money is Taiwan Semiconductor. So there's really just a few big players in the space, in the manufacturing space for chips. But all of those chips that funnel from that part of the industry, they come from the machines of one company, and that is this ASML, one of Europe's largest companies. I think it's the largest company in the Netherlands. And so it's really a pride in the Netherlands, and a big, powerful global monopoly in the space of the machines that make these chips. So, is Intel going to win? I don't know. Is Taiwan Semi going to win? I don't know. Is ASML going to win? I'm thinking so, but that's time will tell.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see what the government encourages and discourages, and as far as these huge grants. And I don't know a lot about the CHIPS Act. I do know that $8 billion grant. I mean, there's times our government can get their money's worth. So, I mean, and that's us, right? So it's 8 billion of our dollars that are going to subsidize, which, because I'm sure it's more than $8 billion to build these plants, to subsidize this. But of course, if it returns labor to the United States, which generates tax revenue, which helps people keep jobs, things like that. I mean, I'm not saying that 8 billion, it may be a good deal. I just don't know. But when you throw those kind of numbers out, and our government spends too much, where we have a huge deficit, it does cause a little bit of concern. So, and there's an example of the government trying to essentially pick a winner. Intel. I mean, I hope they do great. I really do. So, anyways, we'll see where that goes. But thank you, Corey, for that. And I know I've got my computer over here and it still says Intel inside. I haven't put the NVIDIA sticker over top of that. It's right next to it. So with that, I'll just say I'm not sure if we're going to have a show on tomorrow, but have a happy Thanksgiving this week. And I'm sure we'll have more for you next week. Bye.